Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of I Have the Floor. My name is Adeyele, your Christian big sis. Hope everybody is doing well. I talk about everything from faith to family, relationships, friendships, self-confidence, all through the lens of faith, as I said. Today is an interesting episode because I feel like I am speaking from a place of conviction and reflection and maybe even what they call holy frustration. I don't know if that's a term or I've just come up with that. I've been thinking about somebody in the Bible for the past 2 to 3 months, and I feel that a lot of us can relate to this person. And his name is Nicodemus. Like Nicodemus of all people, guys. Like so for those of you who don't know who he was a Pharisee, a powerful member of the Sanhedrin, that is like the Jewish ruling council or something like that, which made him obviously a prominent religious leader, highly respected, well educated in the law, one of the most influential leaders at the time. I have to say that I can relate to Nicodemus in a very interesting way, and I feel like a lot of you who are listening might be able to do that as well. So, so Nicodemus had heard about Jesus. He had seen the miracles, the signs and wonders, and he was intrigued. He believed, right? He came to Jesus at night, not because he did not believe. He knew that Jesus was the Son of God, but yet he waited for darkness to cover him before he approached the light. And I just felt that was like, I kept thinking, I said, God, like, why are you putting Nicodemus in my brain? Like, why am I thinking about Nicodemus? He waited for darkness to cover him before he approached Jesus, which is obviously light. I think of Nicodemus often because so many of us today are trapped in these invisible cultural, societal cages. I call them shackles that are unseen, but you can feel them deeply. In a way, I kind of call them gilded cages. Just like the celebrities always say, it's shiny on the outside, there's gold, there's wealth, there's status, but at what cost? It's heavy. It's the sacrifice of purpose, the loss of boldness, the dimming of your light. You want to be bold about your affinity with Christ. That's a good thing. You want to glorify God with your life, your platform, your presence. You might be a pilot, you might be an influencer, you might be a YouTuber, you might be an artist, you might be whatever it is, a pastor, whatever. But you are hesitating. Why? Because of what people will say. Because of who you think you need to be in society's eyes. Because of the image. And let's be real, it's always been about the image, right? Nicodemus believed. Let's just even sit with that. He believed. He actually believed in our Lord Jesus Christ. He didn't go to Jesus to argue about whether he was the Son of Man. No. He didn't go to Jesus to disprove him. He went to Jesus because he knew. And still, knowing fully well who this person is, he still went under the cover of night, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to associate publicly with the one he believed in privately. I think that busts my head, guys. I find that in a way, I find it heartbreaking. He had something like Nicodemus had the privilege. Oh my goodness. He had the privilege that none of us today will ever experience until that big day. And not even in the same way. He got to sit down with Jesus, like physically. He got to sit down with Jesus face to face. Can you guys imagine what that is like? Not spiritually. Not that you see Jesus in your dream. No. Not in prayer, but in flesh. The Son of God. The Son of God, the Prince of Peace, sitting in front of you, in front of your face. You guys put your hand in front of your face like this. This is how Jesus was, right in front of him. You guys get what I'm trying to say. And still, fear kept him hiding. And I keep asking myself, and I think this is what God was trying to impress on me. How? In that way, you are almost allowing the world to inform how you navigate your relationship and your affinity with God. And it's not supposed to be. Because where other people have their own ideologies and their own morals and their values and their beliefs, they are bold about it. But when it comes to things of God and Jesus, it almost becomes like a taboo, which I frankly don't understand. But I know that it is an agenda that has been designed by the enemy, and that's okay. Let him continue because he knows his end. So he's trying to drag as many people to where he's going. But for those of us who have said that we are children of God and we believe it, we have affiliated ourselves with Christ, at what point do we not be like Nicodemus in that sense, where we are so close, but we are being held back by what? The shackles of society, what people would think, what would they say? The truth is, I actually understand it. We do the same thing in our homes, in our workplaces, in our friendship groups, on social media. Many of us are closet believers, or we are like mouses that will be squeaking when we should be like lions roaring about our affinity with Christ. We should be bold about it. There's something that when my uncle came to visit me recently, there's something he said and it stuck with me. He said for some reason, he doesn't know why, but your status, your name in society, who you are, can limit your growth because you are afraid to take risks. When he said that, I said, oh, wow. He's right. Some of us are growing slower because we are trying to keep up appearances. Those who were not born with silver spoon, that their father is not whoever, their mother is not whoever, they don't come from a notable family, they have no name to protect. They're taking risks and they are building, they're moving. Why? Because they don't have a reputation to protect, like I said. They are not concerned about what people will say because they feel, well, I don't have anything to lose, so I might as well take that risk. No fear of smearing the family name, position. They have no shackles. And me, I've been there. Oh, you think you come from one type of family. Oh, my father is a this, my mother is a that. So it made me cautious. It made me shrink. Even when I knew what God was saying, you will know. God tells you about your gifts and who you are meant to be. Even as a young child, people will tell you, but you don't know, I'm okay like being like this. Even when I wanted to be bold about my affinity with Christ, I was quiet. So what is the cost of being quiet? It will cost you your influence. It will cost you opportunity. It will cost you your purpose. I think about Nicodemus and I wonder, this again, I probably will never get the answer to this question, and that's fine. Maybe if God has time for me on that big day when I'm seated and I'm like, God, what would have happened if Nicodemus had openly decided to follow Jesus? Would others have followed too? If the Daddy Gio of that time, for all of us that are Nigeria, we know Pastor Adeyele, Daddy Gio of that time, stood up for Christ, would the Pharisees have also paid attention? Like, if Nicodemus can say he's following this Christ, there must be something to it. But what we know, Nicodemus was so close, yet he stayed silent. And many of us are doing the same. We are looking around, worrying about who knew us 10 years ago. Isn't this the girl that was used to be full of so much pride? She thought, oh yes, because I just managed to have small money. Isn't this the girl that used to be so loud? I'm still very loud, FYI, and I'm fine with that. But loud in a good way. Isn't this the girl that was this or that? Yes, and so what? This girl is now trying to redeem herself. now. We cannot afford to stay caged because of the past. Because when all this is said and done, all those people that you are worried about, they won't be standing next to you on Judgment Day. And Judgment Day is real. It's real. It's going to happen. So I'm calling you out, and I'm calling myself out too. If God has placed a calling on your life, you need to walk in it today, period. Whether it's to start the business, launch your ministry, be a light in your workplace, raise your kids differently. God has called you into something, and He wants His glory to shine through you. So you need to do it and be bold about it. I don't think Christianity right now needs any more secret believers. We need people who are bold. Because guess what? That key, that cage that some of you have put yourself in, you have the key. You are actually not locked in to this gilded cage like Nicodemus. You're holding that key in your hand. So what you need to do is take it out. Put it in the keyhole. Open the door. Open the cage, and you need to step out. Remove those shackles. Some of you are even comfortable in it. You are so used to being in the cage. But the Spirit of God is telling all of us that it is enough. You were not born to live in fear. You were not born to live muted. You were born for boldness, for kingdom purpose, for impact. So as you leave this episode, I hope most of you have reached this part. I want you to ask yourself today, where am I hiding? What are my invisible cages? What key am I refusing to use? And when you find the answer, I pray you have the courage to do something about it. So until next time, remember, I'm going to be cheesy. You have the key. So don't die with it still in your pocket. Okay? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little mini episode about Nicodemus, who I never ever thought I would be talking about. But that's cool. So yeah. Listen to my previous episodes here. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm all over the place. You can't miss me. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I have the floor. Bye.